Vince Velasquez becomes the sixth Astro to make his major league debut this season tonight at U.S. Cellular Field. He also hopes to be the answer as they try to snap a six-game losing streak. Astros baseball on Root Sports in Chicago starts right now.
Tonight from the cell in Chicago, the Houston Astros close out their road trip and in the process their season series with the White Sox. Last night it was a big one for rookie Carlos Correa, and tonight right-hander Vince Velasquez makes his major league debut as he tries to hold a six-game skid for the club. Hi everybody, Alan Ashby and Jeff Blum with you. We talked about last night and Carlos Correa. We've seen two nights of Carlos Correa, and I don't know that you could be any more impressed than what we've seen at this point, Blummer.
Yeah, he's starting to live up to that number one pick, the number one prospect in all of baseball. We're seeing some fantastic things, and it's fun to call those first for these big league ball players.
Yeah, both sides of the game, in fact, on that. And now Vince Velasquez comes on tonight. We get to look at him. And this guy put up some great numbers in the minor leagues this year. He's been tremendous, and all the word is that he's got great stuff.
Yeah, he's really flown up through the minor leagues, got an electric arm. He was a 58th pick overall in 2010. He's in a mad rush to get up here to the big leagues, but it's because of that big arm. The man has a fastball, changeup, curveball. The fastball is 95-mile-an-hour average, but we've heard rumors that he can get up close to about 100 miles an hour. We'll see what that adrenaline does tonight. Backs it up with that changeup. He'll take about 10 miles an hour off. But with that fastball, that changeup's going to look that much slower.
Coming up, the present and the future. Julia Morales looks at the skills of the Astros young superstars George Springer and Carlos Correa. So don't go away.
Field, Astros White Sox, game 3 of this 3-game set. They're coming off a loss. They're hoping for a win tonight to salvage not just the series but this road trip. A.J. Hinch saying that one last night hurt just because of so many opportunities out there. We've seen this Astros offense struggle here on this trip, but one guy who's put together a nice little road trip very quietly, George Springer. And looking back into Toronto, the first series that this team had, he put together a couple of 2-hit nights, which is good for him, and he was hitting the ball really hard. Of course, the stolen base is a big part of his game, and hitting the ball hard, like I said, has been the story of the series for this team. Maybe not always going through, but he was 1 for 5 last night with a double, his second double in as many games. He's hit 300 on this trip, and he keeps the strikeouts low, which is good to see, a line drive percentage going up there. He's been an exciting player to watch for this team, but he has some company. How about this guy? Carlos Correa joined the club Monday. All eyes on the shortstop making his major league debut. Teammates obviously very happy to have Correa on the club and playing every day at short. He's driven in all the runs for the Astros in this series. How about that? He grabbed his first major league hit last night. RBI infield single, 2 nights ago, and then last night was 2 for 4 with that majestic shot, his first home run in the big leagues. It cut the White Sox lead in half there, a big swing and a big spot for the rookie, but a lot of expectations for this guy. And Springer, somebody who knows a little bit about that. He was in a very similar situation 1 year ago when he was called up, and he said his advice to Carlos Correa was, don't try to be someone you're not. Don't try to speed yourself up. Let the game come to you. Good advice from Springer there. Coming up, these two will be looked at as the Astros try to snap a tough losing streak. And this guy's on the mound, Vince Velasquez, making his major league debut for the Houston Astros. You don't want to go anywhere. First pitch and lineups next.
Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare right now at southwest.com. By Jack in the Box. Try the new Double Jack today only at Jack in the Box. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. We're in Chicago, U.S. Cellular Field, Game 3 of this 3-game set. The White Sox have taken the first 2 games. The Astros have had a troubled trip here. They've lost all 5 games on the trip, 6 in a row overall. They're trying to get it turned around. This is a ball club that has not been swinging the bats the way they would like. They've got a rookie pitcher going to the mound, a guy who comes up with a lot of credentials, and he'll hit the hill tonight. Vince Velasquez. Chicago White Sox have played well in the series. A.J. Hinch will line him up tonight in that lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines. with George Springer in the top spot. He's in right field, followed by Jose Altuve, the second baseman, and left fielder Preston Tucker. Middle three spots, Evan Gattis, he's the DH. Carlos Correa moves up to that 5 spot as he plays shortstop, hitting .375 in his first couple of games. Chris Carter follows at first base. In the bottom 3, Jason Castro behind the dish, Marwin Gonzalez at third, and Jake Marisnick is in center.
The Astros will be going up against the White Sox left-hander, Jose Quintana, the 26-year-old out of Colombia. Last time he faced Houston, he actually took the loss, going to 6 1/3, giving up 5 hits and 1 earned run. He has not allowed a home run in his career versus the Astros. In that career, he's 1-1 with a 3.14.
So Quintana set to go, and our first pitch of the evening, fouled or hit in the air down the right field side, and a long run. This ball drops fair. George Springer will hold at first base. So on the first pitch of the ball game, a little pop fly single down the right field line, just inside the line. George Springer gets it started.
That's a peach, hon. What a way to start it with a blast.
Not how hard you hit him.
Oh, location, location, location. Got a little bit big on that fastball. Looked almost down the middle. But you put it in that Bermuda Triangle out there, you can end up with a pretty big smile on your face to start out the game.
George Springer starting to pick up some hits, starting to cut down on the strikeouts. And you wonder on that pop fly double. Of course, you get that scenario where you don't see where the ball goes and you get a slow break out of the box. Brings up Jose Altuve. Altuve continues to struggle a bit, hitting .295, 5 dingers on the year, 27 ribbies. George Springer certainly a threat to run. The Astros continue to lead in the American League in stolen bases. The Astros start the day 34-26, despite losing 6 in a row. Ground ball third base side. They'll try to get an out at second. They'll get it as Springer comes in hard sliding. And that's all they'll get, the fielder's choice. That leaves Altuve at first base with 1 out for Preston Tucker.
See who's playing on defense behind Jose Quintana here at U.S. Cellular. Melky Cabrera out there in left field. J.B. Shuck in center field. Avisail Garcia in right. Connor Gillespie at third base. Gordon Beckham at short. Emiliano Bonifacio at second base. Jose Abreu at first. And Giovanni Soto working with Quintana.
So Altuve, who leads the league in stolen bases with 17 leads. White Sox clearly aware of the speed of Altuve. Preston Tucker in that 3 spot. This is an intriguing lineup. Tucker against the lefty hitting third. Carlos Correa hitting 5th. And we may see more and more of these youngsters in prominent spots in the order. George Springer already 1 for 1 on the night. Preston Tucker had a hit in last night's ball game against the lefty. 3 straight left-handed pitchers here in the series starting for the White Sox.
Pretty unique rotation for the White Sox, having 4 lefties in that 5-man rotation.
Quintana, 26 years of age, and again has his sights on Altuve. The Astros' next stolen base will be their 50th on the year. They've been caught 15 times. 49 bags, best in the league. 79 home runs, best in the league. And the batting average, last in the league at .234. As Tucker takes the breaking ball for a strike. Preston Tucker just 1 for 11 on the road trip. And it's been a struggle getting swept 3 ball games in Toronto and the first 2 here in Chicago. And yet, all the while, as you see Carlos Correa come on the scene and Lance McCullers pitch so effectively, there are some bright spots. In fact, Preston Tucker snapped an 0 for 13 with a base hit against the lefty last night. And now timeout called at the plate.
Quintana's killing my groove, Ash.
How so?
Man, stepping off, taking his sweet time coming to home plate. A couple of pickoffs. Not sure what's going on with the signs or if he's that panicked about Altuve being at first base.
1-1 the count.
It's Altuve.
And the word is Quintana is always quite deliberate. In fact, slow with men on base.
Perfect getaway guy.
Ideal. A little rain before the ball game. In fact, they had to shut down batting practice on the field. Should be clear for the rest of the evening. Is that what you're getting on your dark skies?
We are hoping so, yeah.
Good swing by Tucker as he fouls it back. 1-2 the count.
So Tucker takes some pretty good passes off left-handed pitchers. Saw a breaking ball earlier in this count for a called strike. Might be one of those guys that only needs to see it once to be able to put a good pass on it.
Doesn't often get cheated. Fastball grounded right side. They'll try to get an out at second, but throw it away. Altuve heads to third base. Into second base is Tucker, and the Astros catch a break. It'll be an E4, and the Astros now have runners at second and third, one out for Evan Gattis.
Got to take advantage of those opportunities given to you. Bonifacio gave him a gift right here, just a roll over, two hopper to second base. Opted for the spin move. Sometimes that creates a tough angle to throw with if you don't pick up your target early enough.
Tucker officially reaches on a fielder's choice. So as you say, that's a big break starting the ball game tonight. And the Astros could stand to get this offense going and going early. Start having some fun playing the ball game offensively.
Well, in this series, they're 2 for 17 with runners in scoring position.
And that's killer for the club.
Have to turn that around right here. Get things hot going back into Minute Maid.
Gattis has one on the hands as he fouls it on the ground.
Quintana's doing a good job of getting in the kitchen of right-handed hitters. There it is on the bottom. The wrist, not good. And they've actually had situations with runners in scoring position with the heart of their lineup up. Those guys that you need to count on to bring those runners in.
Some of the guys in the heart of the order, though, have been in some struggling times. Gattis fouls it down the right side, down on the count 0-2. Evan Gattis has had hits in 13 of his last 16 games, hitting .333 in that clip. 5 doubles, a triple, and 4 home runs, 13 ribbies, and a good RBI man. And leads the club in that category. And then there's Carlos Correa, who had a big night last night. In fact, big nights the last 2 nights, first 2 nights in the big leagues. Ground ball to third. They're going to come home, and Altuve is caught in a rundown and tagged out eventually by the third baseman, or rather the shortstop, Beckham. So that goes 5-2-6. A fielder's choice enables Gattis to reach. And the Astros now down to 2 outs as Carlos Correa is the guy that has to pick things up.
Astros now 2 for 20 with runners in scoring position. And Quintana's doing a good job of getting that fastball in on the hands on right-handed hitters, gets the rollover, and if you're going to get a ground ball, we saw the infield playing back. You get that ground ball to the corner, there's a good chance they get that runner out at third base, at home plate. Good job by Glassby to cut that runner off.
The Astros have not had a lead in this 3-game series. Carlos Correa would like to turn that around. Takes the slider in there for a strike.
If Carlos wasn't in this series, the Astros don't have any runs.
All 3 RBIs in the series.
Yeah.
He's got a home run in the big leagues. Hit a bomb last night. Very exciting to see for the young shortstop. It's a ball and a strike.
How about A.J. Hinch making the move, putting Correa in that 5-hole, just his 3rd game in the big leagues, and here he is in the first inning, 2 outs, 2 runners on.
I say, why not? When you talk to the young man, he's not scared by the experience, and he is so loaded with tools. Breaking ball grounded right side. 2 hopper at second. Bonifacio onto Abreu, and that does it. The Astros let a chance get away as they had runners at second and third with one out. We played a half an inning, scoreless in Chicago. Lines him up with J.D. Shuck in the top spot. His first shot in the series, Emilio Bonifacio and Jose Abreu. Middle three, Adam LaRoche, Avi Garcia, and Melky Cabrera. And then the bottom three, Giovanni Soto, Connor Gillespie, and Gordon Beckham.
For the Houston Astros, here he is, Vince Velasquez. Coming straight up from Corpus Christi. He's got an electric fastball, changeup, curveball. Max effort guy, can run it up there between 95 and 100 miles an hour.
That's the word we get.
Big and part of that rookie wave that's coming through for the Houston Astros, trying to hold on to first place.
And his first pitch in the big leagues, a fastball at 96, in for a strike. They will toss the ball on to the Astros side there, and there's his first souvenir in the big leagues, and an impressive first pitch. J.B. Shuck hitting .268. 0-2 the count, and
all right,
yeah, that's impressive to start with. Blummer, I think you and I are in agreement. Lance McCullers has been dynamite to this point, and now
so true.
You get a chance to see another guy with a great arm coming up, a youngster, and it's exciting right now. Pitch it in the air and sharply left center field and deep. This is over the head of the left fielder, Tucker, all the way to the wall, and a leadoff double. So this is life in the big leagues. Some very good hitters, and you have to find a way to deal with it. Leadoff double by J.B. Shuck.
I think if you talk to most big league hitters, if you see a pitch 3 times in a row, there's a good chance you're going to barrel up one of them. You see that nice little cluster on the outside corner. Yes, that's good location, but the same pitch in the same spot. A lot of big league hitters are going to be able to barrel that up.
So here's my contention. In terms of pitch selection, Velasquez, as a rookie standing on the hill, probably doesn't have the say. He's just following what signs he sees. You agree?
Yeah. Oh, they're not going to make him make any decisions in this game, that's for sure.
And sometimes I think a good percentage of the time rookies get put in a real tough spot. They're told to establish the fastball, keep throwing it, and it's tough. Major league hitters love to see that fastball. And I'm not putting it on Jason Castro in any sense, but I think it becomes the game plan before the guys even hit the field. One ball and no strikes, again showing bunt Bonifacio. And a 2-0 count. Tough part of the order now coming up after Bonifacio. Jose Abreu, Adam LaRoche, Avi Garcia. Guys can swing it. I've been there many times with young pitchers. And as the pitch is popped up shallow in left center field, the shortstop Correa takes charge and makes the catch. So there's the first out recorded by Vince Velasquez. One out, first base open for Jose Abreu.
Nice to see that runner not advance. Good fastball in a 2-0 count. That whip under one at Corpus Christi. I believe I looked at some numbers and said that he was at 12.5 strikeouts per 9 innings down there in Corpus Christi. So phenomenal numbers. We have yet to see him snap off a breaking ball yet. It'll be interesting to see if and when he does use those pitches and how good they look.
Jose Abreu swinging the bat well. Of course, Rookie of the Year from last year. He could have been MVP with the numbers he put up last year.
It's a good little snapdragon to start off this AB.
Yeah, and I'm glad to see that. Let him go ahead and pitch and utilize all the pitches. We've already seen a well above average major league fastball. He's 23 years of age. Added to the Astros 40-man roster in the offseason. Part of Major League spring training this year. Ooh, look at that heater.
You look at it.
I'm looking at it, and at 95, 96, that thing looks really good.
That's a beautiful spot. Well, early on, it looks like he's able to locate that heat.
Wound up having some physical problems during spring training. Didn't make an outing with the Astros. Use that slider. Good looking pitch, but to a very good hitter in Abreu, he gets a piece.
Get a chance to check around the outfield. Preston Tucker, Jake Marisnik, and George Springer in the outfield. Marwin Gonzalez making his third start at third base. Carlos Correa is going to be a mainstay at short. Jose Altuve and Chris Carter again on the right side. Jason Castro getting back in there to face the left-hander Quintana.
Jason Castro's out to the mound talking with Velasquez. Now, Velasquez, last pitch there was, I thought, a very good slider down and away, and I'm wondering about the conversation. Could it be that Abreu is a really good hitter of pitches away?
I think he's a good hitter, period. Just wonder if that might be a sign issue. Rookie pitcher on the mound, runner at second base. Sometimes signs can be a little mixed up.
That could be. That was really over the top right there, and a nice job by Jason Castro.
And that's a good 0-2 pitch. We saw an 0-2 fastball to J.B. Shuck get hammered, but here an 0-2 count. Bury the slider. See if you can't get a guy to chase.
Jose Abreu hit .317 last year with 36 bombs. So he can hit regardless of who's on the hill. High heat got him. There you go. 96 and run it up the ladder. First strikeout in the big leagues, and it comes against Jose Abreu.
I apologize for the reaction, but that one got me. That was just some straight noise in the upper regions. And a great hitter in Abreu, unable to catch up.
Yeah, if you can get that guy, get a chance to get anybody. That's a memorable first punch out in the big leagues. And now with 2 outs, Adam LaRoche will stand in. Dangerous left-hand hitter, plenty of power. Played in game 1 here in the series, drove a couple of balls. Had a double that clanked off the glove of VR in left field right at the wall. And by the way, Jonathan VR has been sent back to the minor leagues as the Astros had to make room on the roster today for Vince Velasquez, who comes up from Double-A. VR option back to Triple-A Fresno. Ball gets behind Castro. Digging for third and making it is J.B. Shuck. Is that the changeup?
What's the changeup?
It is a wild pitch. So he's recording a number of firsts here in the first inning. Yes, you're exactly right.
Oh, man.
You feeling okay right now?
No, I think I'm going to stand up for a second.
What you want to do is get on both knees and just kind of bend over for a moment. So 2 outs, a man at third base, first inning. Velasquez will continue from the stretch. Fastball hit sharply, but with the shift on, right there, straight up second base, Altuve makes the play. And that does it in the first inning. Successful for Vince Velasquez, scoreless after 1.
Hey, it's coming from that guy right there, Robin Ventura says, on Carlos Correa, good luck to everybody. He's very impressive. Even watching him on the field, you see a kid that usually you will see some jitters or something. He's not rushed. Anybody that thinks he's rushed, he's not rushed to be up here. He's a major league player. He's going to give people fits for a long time. It's strong praise coming from the opponent over there, and AJ Hinch talking about this as well. Just the poise that this guy shows in just a couple of days and in the big leagues. You can see it with his body control. Guys, what have you seen? And what do you think of that quote?
Well, I think the quote, Julia, is dead on the money. I mean, Robin Ventura is a veteran. He's seen a lot of rookies come to the big leagues. You can see guys that have the ability, but then there's the guys also that have the composure to go with it. I would say that all of that is there for Carlos Correa. And I have the sense that Blummer has all the same feelings, maybe even some more to add.
No, I do. Robin Ventura was a phenomenal college hitter and was rushed to the big leagues and did quite well. So I think he, of all people, to get that quote from a guy like Robin Ventura says a lot.
Chris Carter at the plate has a 1-2 count. Carter hitting .077 on this road trip. 1 for 13. Does have an RBI. Just the second inning. 197 the batting average now for Chris. He's had a 12-game hitting streak, and yet the 197 batting average as he takes close, but the count runs to 3-2. You know, that's hard to do in a two-plus month span. Have a 12-game hitting streak and be hitting 197.
It's pretty phenomenal. And I want to say during that 12-game streak was hitting well over 300 also.
He rams one down the left side but hooks it foul.
There's a little bit of hate going down that left field line right there.
That was an official good hard swing by Chris Carter.
Well, we saw in his first at bat last night, hit a rocket to left. Melky Cabrera makes a great play on it. Look at that swing. That's a fastball coming back in with 2 strikes too, and able to get the head out.
You know, we've talked about how Carter has hit in Seattle over his time in the Astros uniform. That ball hits the bag at third and goes on down the line. So Carter, who caught a break for a double last night late in the ball game, catches one maybe right here. It's a leadoff double in the second inning. That'll bring up Jason Castro.
Castro's getting a couple breaks here early on. Sorry?
Oh, no, good. You go.
Well, I was going to say the game started off with a drop shot down the right field line for Springer. Now you see a ball down, hit just a ground ball down the third base line, hits that bag, turns into a double.
Double number 7 on the year for Chris. Last night in the 9th inning, Chris Carter hit a pop fly on the right side. They had the shift on. That left a long way for second baseman, right fielder, center fielder to go after it, and it dropped. And so catch some breaks, see if you can get something going. Castro has a strike on him. Jason hitting .218. Jason has spent some time watching on this road trip. A lot of left-hand pitching, certainly here in Chicago, 3 consecutive. And as Blummer talked about, 4 of the 5 starters for the White Sox are left-handed. But he gets the start against the lefty tonight. Castro 1 for 7 on the road trip. Does have a home run that came in Toronto. That one kicks away from Soto, and plenty for Carter to move up to third base. So a likely wild pitch will have a man at third, nobody out for the Astros as they try to get on top.
We see more often than not some really good catchers trying to absorb the impact of those balls in the dirt. It looked like Giovanni went after that with his glove, and that's what led to the clank.
That's exactly right. Tried to pick it with the glove, didn't utilize the body, and it cost you in the end. If the ball doesn't hit right in the heart of the glove, you're going to see the ball kicking in different directions. It's painful to watch Soto throw back to the mound.
It's very uncomfortable, to say the least. But it gets back to the pitcher, and I'm sure that's all that matters.
Yeah. 13 RBIs on the year for Jason Castro. Fastball is popped up on the left side. The third baseman is Gillespie, he's calling, and puts it away, out number 1.
I guess I was foreshadowing when earlier I said 2 for 20. Now the Astros are legitimately 2 for 20 with runners in scoring position.
You are one of the great anticipators in all of this game.
I don't want to be it when the numbers are that ugly.
The Kreskin of the booth.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Marwin Gonzalez at the plate hitting .221. Asked for timeout as things really sped up there. And for Marwin, and it's kind of the theme of the road trip. The batting average on this trip, 167, a 1 for 6 trip for Marwin.
Sensing a theme.
It's kind of what happens when you go 0-5 on a trip. They're without a victory in their last 6 ball games, and yet maintain first place. The Astros had put together such a fine streak, but you know the rough times are going to come. They lost that final game of the homestand to the Baltimore Orioles.
Well, we keep talking about you know the Astros, even though they are in first place, even though they've got plenty of wins, they're still gathered all those wins, being the worst batting average hitting team, I guess I'm trying to say, in all of the American League. So it's just a matter of time before that catches up to you.
And all the while leading in home runs and stolen bases. So power and speed, a big part of the club.
But the power has gone downhill with the batting average on this trip, that's for sure.
And a walk to Marwin puts runners at first and third for the 9-hitter, Jake Marisnick. Jake Marisnick 0 for his last 5. Continues to play a great center field.
That was a rarity. I wonder if Marwin got the ball for that walk. He doesn't walk too often.
Lowest percentage of walks in the big leagues, huh?
And in his defense, he's a role player. You know, fill in, move around the diamond a little bit, and back some guys up. So guys that don't get that many ABs that regularly, they get in there, they're swinging. They're not going to walk their way off that bench. They got to swing their way off that bench.
And to go along with that, Marwin's had some big swings for the club. On that sliding, what do you call that?
I was never fast enough to earn one of those. I think it just keeps the wrist protected as they potentially dive into a base.
Marisnick fouls it down the right side. Jake hitting .256 overall with 4 bombs on the year. You know, even with the 6-game losing streak, I think the Astros as a team believe that they are legitimate contenders. Fly ball left field. This is plenty deep enough to get a run. Carter tags. The catch is made. And the throw goes into second base. The Astros will get on top 1-0 on a sac fly by Jake Marisnick.
He's not a base hit with the runner in scoring position, but a sac fly nonetheless scores that first run for the Houston Astros. Finally, somebody other than Carlos Correa contributing.
For Jake Marisnick, RBI number 18 on his 3rd sac fly of the season. And you're right, sacrifice flies are a big part of what an offense does when you're scoring runs.
Sometimes all you need is to break that seal too, and hopefully the Astros scoring first will lead to more runs in this game.
2 down here in the 2nd inning, a run in. Astros on top. And now Quintana starts throwing to first base. And of course, Marwin Gonzalez is not one of the threats on the club to run, though he will run occasionally. He has stolen 1 bag in 2 tries on the year. And another throw to first base.
My goodness.
So we're going to make sure that Marwin's not on the move.
Pull the tarp. There's a man on first.
That's what it feels like.
It's unbelievable.
George Springer takes the big hack. George hit a little pop fly on the first pitch of the ball game down the right field side. It dropped just inside the chalk, and George is 1 for 1 with a base hit. One of those pop flies that if you see it off the bat, you get yourself a 2-bagger. Takes the high strike. 0-2 the count.
So hard as a hitter, you give up on those.
Now, George Springer is one of the guys that's picked it up on the road trip. He's hitting .300 coming into play, so he's advanced that. 6 for 20 on the trip. And Marwin is forced to go back to the bag. Where's Mark Burley when you need him?
He's a good role model.
Pitch in the dirt. Marwin had a pretty good secondary lead down there at first base. George Springer has kind of been bouncing around in different spots in the batting order. As he fouls it back. 1-2 on George. Carlos Correa now on the scene, along with the talent of George Springer, Preston Tucker. It's feeling like the future is very bright. Line drive right field. Springer has his second hit of the night. Marwin digs for third base. He'll make it without a throw. Runners at the corners now with 2 outs. And the Astros have 3 hits on the night. It brings up Jose Altuve.
Pretty easy to go first to third on a base hit to right. We've seen in this series Garcia playing deep in right field. Great piece of hitting from George Springer, just punching that ball the other way.
That's pretty.
Just go with it. He was getting pounded inside with a couple of those sliders. Like you said, he fouled off that fastball on that inner third. Looked like he took a pretty good hack on it, and I wonder if that kind of scared off Quintana coming back in the kitchen.
I was talking about the spots that Springer has batted in the order, first, second, third, and fourth over the course of the year. But kind of settling in here recently in that leadoff spot. And now Jose Altuve, who's over his last 7, takes a pitch. You're talking about how deep Javi Garcia was playing in right field in last night's ball game. He's got 8 outfield assists. I have a feeling that comes because runners are going constantly. You'll get some outfielders that get a lot of assists without having great throwing arms. Springer always a threat to run. 12 bags on the year, caught twice. Altuve offers on the high heat. It's 0-2.
Ooh, he's trying to jump ship. Did you see that lower third they put up and said Infante is 159,000 votes behind Altuve?
Shouldn't be. Fastball up and in with Springer on the move. The throw down and not in time. That throw drifted on the first base side, and Springer picks up his 13th stolen base on the year.
Well done, George, but I want to get back to Jose Altuve only being 159,000 votes in front of Infante. See if they're going to review this. You be the judge at home. I didn't see anything hit that leg. This would be a good look at it. Still nothing to convince me. You?
I agree. Yeah, had the tag been made there, and that's what I was thinking just watching it full speed. I thought, well, if a tag was applied, they might have cut him there. There's a jam shot ground ball right side. Altuve sprinting down the line, but they still get him. So the Astros get a run in the second inning, leave a pair. After 1.5, they lead it 1-0.
Minute Maid Park on select Sundays with the Kroger Family 4-pack starting at only $70. A special family ticket package includes 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 sodas, and a lot seat parking pass. Get your Kroger Family 4-pack for this Sunday's game against the Mariners by visiting astros.com/value or call 1-877-9-ASTROS, guys.
Thank you, Julia. 1-0 Astros. We go to the bottom of the second inning. Avi Garcia leads it off. He'll be followed by Melky Cabrera and Giovanni Soto. Javi Sail. Good-looking hitter. 7 home runs on the year, 25 ribbies while hitting .301. And he has certainly shown us, along with Jose Abreu, a great ability to drive the ball the other way.
And you've shown the ability to amazingly pronunciate his name.
I'm not going to say it again, though. Avi Garcia. 2 balls and no strikes. Vince Velasquez in his major league debut. He has been Vincent Velasquez to us all along, but now we're informed he is Vince. So we'll get used to that. That fastball in the mid and plus 90s. And yet he walks the leadoff man Garcia. He's aboard for Melky Cabrera. Plummer, you were talking about Jose Abreu in the All-Star game and all that's going on with the voting, and we need some votes, don't we?
Yeah, for Jose Altuve.
Well, who did I say?
Abreu.
Sorry.
Which is easy because he's an All-Star too.
Bad choice.
But Altuve for me, and nothing against Omar Infante, great ball player, career .274 guy, plays a great second base. But if he's an All-Star over Altuve, something's wrong with the voting for me.
Right.
Omar Infante is hitting .217 on the season. No home runs. He scored 12 runs, has 17 RBIs. And you're telling me that he's going to be voted in over Jose Altuve for the starting second base job? I mean, if you said Robinson Cano, there might be an argument there.
Well, he's had a rough year too.
Yes, but
you're right, and the Kansas City voting has gone a little over the top, and I wonder if things might change after this year. But for the time being, Astros fans and Jose Altuve fans need to get out there and vote. I think it's the bottom line. Yes?
If you're a baseball fan,
yeah.
Jose Altuve, he's your guy.
This game has not had much of a pace as leadoff man had been on base. We've been seeing numerous throws to first base. Just in the bottom of the second inning.
Altuve's been playing great defense this year. It seems like over the last 3 years that we've had a chance to watch him, he's actually gotten better as a defensive second baseman.
It's been I think, a plus defensive second baseman this year, without question. You weren't there on the most recent homestand. He turned a double play as the middleman that was off the charts quick.
You know what I like about him is he's immediate to second base. He gets there as early as possible to give those guys a target.
Runner goes, the pitch outside, throw down, and Castro gets him with a good strong throw, and Jason Castro continues to be the sheriff behind the plate.
I don't think Avi Garcia believes that he's out. It'll be interesting to see what it says on the replay. Good throw. I don't know. That was a pretty good tag. I love where Correa's set up, and you see him get him on that knee right before he comes into the bag. Great job.
You know, we talk a lot about snapping the tag down. That's exactly what he did.
Well, he held his ground with his foot behind second base, kind of straddling him. So that gave him a chance to stay there. He didn't have to reach too far for that ball, even though it was just a little offline. He let it travel.
And now they're going to review this call at second base. So for the moment, we will check and see what New York has to say about this. I'm not sure that this is convincing one way or the other.
Yeah, it's really not for me. I actually still think that he is out. Jose Altuve's hitting just under .295 on the season, has 5 home runs, 27 RBIs, 17 stolen bases. As we look back at the play at second base, see if we can get a better look at it. There's the catch, tag coming across, boom.
Yeah.
Right before he gets to the bag.
How are you going to overturn that one? I think that's going to result in an out call. Yeah, I think you nailed that one. And by the way, for Jason Castro, this would be his 15th caught stealing with 28 stolen bases against him. He starts the night with a 33% caught stealing rate. He's been really good, and a lot of throws just like this. Even though this was slightly on the shortstop side of second base, a good, strong throw from Jason. That defensive side of the game has become a strength for Castro.
That's been a huge asset. He hasn't been getting many hits, and the average is dropping, but still a huge guy behind home plate, leader of this ball club, leader of this young pitching staff also.
Look, right now for the Astros, when there's a running game threat against Houston, you need Jason Castro behind the plate.
I agree. They are dissecting this one.
Debating in New York as to what to call this. And for me, once you can't slice it one way or the other, you can't change the call.
They might be out there in New York voting for Jose Altuve.
Well, I hope that's the direction they're leaning.
They should. The man does it all. And he has the tastiest fingertips in all of baseball.
What does he place on those fingernails, by the way?
I'm not entirely sure. We need to investigate that because he is always gnawing on them.
He's had a little bit of a funk for a while now with the bat. You know it's going to turn around, but you can tell it's bothering Jose. But it hasn't changed his game defensively at all. So we're on the clock.
This is like Steve Traxel with
I think it's
men on base.
Minnesota Vikings on the clock with pick number 17 in the draft. A.J. Hinch is enjoying things, as are the White Sox.
This is impressive. There we go.
And we're going to say out. Yes, you are out because we can't change the call. And as we surmised, it is out number 1 here in the inning. And I, like you said, really like that snap tag by Carlos Correa. No reach, just snap it down. So Castro gets another man, his 15th caught stealing on the season. Two minutes and 50 seconds. I almost said 2 hours and 50 minutes. It felt more like that. And now a strike is delivered. We're yet to see a swing here in the inning. One out in, Melky Cabrera has a 3-2 count. Vince Velasquez doesn't have an overly quick pace as the pitch is fouled back to the screen. But his arm is extremely impressive. That last one at 97. So I'd say what we're seeing is very Lance McCullers-like in terms of velocity.
I want to see him reach back and really get one. Light it up.
Fastball. Pop foul to the seats. McCullers, another aspect of his game that was so strong the other night is the way he maintains velocity as far as he goes into the ball game.
How much of that is in the delivery, the motion of the delivery, the efficiency these guys create for that arm speed they can create?
Schneider is hammered down the right side, but foul. Are we in that same difficult time to see the baseball here in Chicago?
Yeah, there's been tough skies with these clouds and that.
Ballpark just lends to a difficulty, doesn't it?
It does.
3-2, that count continues. And fastball just outside. Second straight walk in the inning.
Is it? Off the edge.
Yeah, those are the clouds that Blummer's talking about, and they sit behind as the scene that we see from behind home plate, and balls go up in the air, and it's tough to see.
Yeah, that Mississippi mud blends right into this sky.
Delaware mud.
Sorry.
I was corrected. I want to make sure and get that straight. Fastball's in for a strike. One out here in the second inning. 1-0 Houston. Picked up a run on Jake Marisnick's sac fly in the second. Counted 0-2. George Springer has a pair of hits. Chris Carter has a double. And Vince Velasquez has a very good arm. And the pace of this ball game is really dragging. The Astros fly back home after tonight's game. So it's going to be an early morning arrival for the ball club back in Houston. Tomorrow an off day. A sleep it off day, if you will. And there's the strikeout on the breaking ball. Second out of the inning. Second strikeout for Vince Velasquez.
Not a perfect curveball, but still takes enough off it, gets enough break on that outside corner to be able to sneak it past Gio.
How you doing? You all locked down over there with this wind now kicking up?
Yes, I'm now sitting on the desk.
Yeah.
Temperatures dropped a little bit.
Connor Gillespie will stand in. Third baseman tonight for the White Sox. He'll bat with a shift on. Only Marwin Gonzalez on the left side. Drives one in the air, left center field. Back is Marisnick. He'll make the catch, and that'll do it for the White Sox in the second inning. No runs. They leave a man. 1-0 Astros after 2.
Out of a little bit of a jam there, but I'm with his father, Leonard Velasquez, and his mother, Juanita. So good to have you guys here. Glad you guys can make his debut. And I want to ask you, he told us yesterday that he's feeling good, calm, collected, but how are you guys feeling today?
Well, this is a great honor to be here, and I was kind of concerned about visiting because when he was coming out, he was practicing. My main concern was him and his composure and the body language and everything. And I was conveying this same message to his agent. And I said, he kind of reminded me of the American Pharaoh that just won the Triple Crown. He looked good. He looked really good. And it's obvious. I mean, he looks cool, calm, and collected.
Right, yes. Well, we've seen him touch 96, 97. We hear how aggressive he is on the mound. Where does he get that from?
Dad. He gets it from Dad and his brothers. He had to be aggressive. His older brothers would pick on him, and they were much older, but that's where he got it from. He had to survive.
The matter of survival, you have to be the best of the best.
Just what does this mean to your family for him to be here in the big leagues? I know it's been a long journey for him.
Well, it means a lot because it's very inspiring, not only to the family, but everybody back home in Pomona and Pomona American that he came from, and I'm just proud of everybody.
We're so glad to have you. Enjoy this day.
Thank you.
Guys, up to you.
That's great stuff. Thanks, Julia. Yep. Chokes you up. It means so much to not only the players, the families, and fans of these guys. Evan Gaddis at the plate after Preston Tucker has grounded out. Tucker hit it sharply on the ground to second. Ground ball to third. Play across the diamond. Gillespie to Abreu. Out number 2 here in the third inning. We'll bring up Carlos Correa. Spent 3 games here in Chicago, but some really good storylines going on for the Astros right now.
Absolutely. Yeah, you get to bring those storylines back to Houston with you. Get that day off to recuperate a little bit and then get thrown right into the mix.
Now come on out and watch these guys. Carlos Correa is just exceptional. George Springer is seemingly putting things together right now. This is very special stuff, and it looks like the future is getting brighter and brighter by the day for this club. Correa fouls it off. 0-2 the count. If you missed the home run from Carlos Correa last night, check it out online, wherever you need to go to see it. But it was not your wall scraper. It was a bomb to left field. Big kid, and he's got all the ability that it takes to be one of the great ones. Vince Velasquez try to stay loose. All those things that pitchers do with their arms that the rest of us should not even attempt.
Flexibility on the arms is unreal.
Ball's foul into that White Sox dugout. Take a look at what Carlos Correa did last night.
Just explosive. Quick that front side opened up, allowed those hands to come in nicely. Harold gets to the ball quickly and just extends right through it.
Gets to the high fastball and fouls it. Thing is, you got to see where it wound up. To see it in the air and the majestic shot that it was, very, very special here at the ballpark. He's a collected young man, 20 years of age. Takes that breaking ball well, doesn't he?
He's got a soft front side. If you watch him, and a lot of good hitters, watch their head, see how much their head moves. If their head moves not at all, they're in great shape. That means they're going to see the ball a little bit longer. But that front leg also, if he's not jabbing that front leg into the ground, that'll keep that head nice and still too.
Spoils.
You see, he just kind of sets it out front.
But we also saw last night when he sees a pitch he can handle, it is explosion time.
I thought the base hit swing he got last night was just as impressive.
Well, he lined out one other time. He could have had very easily 3 solid hits last night. Backs away, it's 3-2. Now his size is George Springer like.
Correa's 20. He's still growing.
And that's why the Alex Rodriguez comparisons have come along. He might be bigger and stronger than A-Rod was at this age. He lines one to right field and deep. And this is getting over the head of Garcia. Extra bases into second base with a double. This kid is unique. That's his first double in the big leagues.
dude can hit.
How about that shot?
How about the hole at bat? Laying off some tough pitches in the dirt, gets a fastball down on that outside corner, stays on it. We know he's got that pop going the other way, too.
Battled off tough pitches, like you say. Gets that first major league double. So he now has 4 hits. He's got a double, a home run, 3 RBIs. He's made a spectacular defensive play, and he's made the routine plays.
Hold on, I got to make a note real quick. Get Carlos Correa's autograph.
It's not a bad idea.
Before he ignores me. I mean, I don't want to. I know he's one of ours, and you know, we knew a lot about him before he even got here, but he's kind of exceeded what I had expected of him. And it's early. I mean, there's going to be some ups and downs, but for right now, it's been kind of fun. Oh, maybe a little bit of jealousy in there.
Chris Carter takes the ball. It's 2-0. You use the word expected, and it's tough to expect.
Well, it's
things
tough
with
for
guys.
us because we played. We never had that phenom status, I don't believe, but
I certainly didn't.
We played in this league. We know how hard it is, but when you hear about how good a guy is, we understand that this is a completely different level to do that on. And here in 3 games, he's yet to go hitless in a game, and he's put together some great at-bats.
This young kid go jogging behind home plate here.
Oh,
yeah.
Never mind me.
Spring training going on?
He's got his camouflage gray uniform on.
It's like pitchers running in the outfield during spring training games.
That's going to cost him in kangaroo court.
And now 3-1 on Carter. Carter had a double, his 7th in the 2nd inning. He's not concerned.
No, not at all.
Ball 4. So Carter draws the 2-out walk. Runners at first and second now for Jason Castro. Yeah, I think a lot of times for me, it's become this hope that guys can come close to fulfilling what the minor league folks say about a player coming up. But what Carlos Correa is doing is kind of surpassing maybe what I thought was possible.
Well, the thing we get to see stats. We get to see highlights. We don't get to see at-bats. Now we get to see the at-bats. Now we get to see him play some defense. So now it's kind of putting it a little more into context to see what he can do.
Jason Castro popped to third base in the 2nd. Takes the breaking ball for a strike. Couple of quick outs in the inning, Tucker and Gaddis. But then Correa worked his at bat, got the double as he lined one deep to right field. Chris Carter coaxes the walk, and Jason Castro trying to add to this 1-0 Houston lead. Fastball right on the hands.
He fouled that off in between his hands. Oh, that ball got deep. Sinker just running in.
Looked like kind of a look of disgust on the face of Castro.
He's been having a tough time at the plate. Been getting some days off too with all these lefties going.
Yeah, and I don't know if that helps a guy who's struggling. Fastball got him the high heat. That'll do it for the Astros in the 3rd inning. They get the double from Correa and leave a pair. It's 1-0 Houston.
look at the Astros prospects. These guys that made an appearance in the big league. We saw Michael Phillies and Wojo up here. Those top 4 guys, see their rankings within the Astros. Those guys are all in the show now. They are no longer prospects in my book. They are part of the Astros Major League Baseball team. And quite deservedly so for me. Something to look forward to, huh?
I think it's tremendous. And Preston Tucker, I think, might get overlooked a little bit. There's a couple of guys that have very bright futures. Carlos Correa, I think, can be one of the game's elite players. And it seems evident very early on. 1-0 Houston, bottom of the 3rd inning, 9-1-2 coming up. Gordon Beckham leads it off. Fairly tight strike zone so far this evening. The umpires tonight behind the plate, Tony Basner and Bellino at first. Down at second, Vic Carapazza and Larry Vanover's at third. And I say it's kind of a tight strike zone. I think that shows why.
Blind spot.
That one is forced to be called a strike. 1-1 the count on Beckham. Velasquez has already struck out 2 now in the big leagues. He's also walked a pair. Breaking ball hit in the air to right field. Springer, a couple of steps back and to his left, makes the play. 1 up, 1 down. And back to the top of the order with J.B. Shuck. With Velasquez coming on the scene now, he's the 6th Astro to make his major league debut this year, joining Carlos Correa, as we talked about, Michael Feliz, Lance McCullers, Preston Tucker, Asher Wojciechowski. Very impressive season for the Astros. And all the while leading in the American League West. But now that need to come out of the funk and start winning again. Bring it. You know, with Lance McCullers and now Velasquez coming along, these are much better arms than we've been looking at for a few years.
There's all kinds of life in these things.
Ball and a strike. It was J.B. Shuck with a double in the 1st inning, the only hit allowed in the major league career of Vince Velasquez. How about that changeup?
That's good. That should have created some depth on that. 88 miles an hour. Good arm action.
And Shuck wasn't close there.
Shuck kind of gave him that look like, really? You're going to throw 95 and then pull a string like that.
1-2 the count. Not a good breaking ball. He's shown a couple of varieties of that breaking ball so far. Final time these two teams will meet this year. And the White Sox have certainly got the better of it. They are 4-1 against the Astros. Oh, that fastball is just, I refer to it as just planing to the plate. It's just a true straight line. I believe that one was at 98. Is that what that gun said?
Yep. That gun has been getting a workout this entire series.
White Sox have scored 19 runs to the Astros, now 10 in the head-to-head. Look at that thing just bore into the plate.
Be a good time for a changeup.
Yeah, if that's truly a big part of this repertoire, he could become quite the strikeout pitcher. There it is. Good call by Jeff Blum.
Just a good idea. We saw him throw 3 fastballs to JB. That third one he hammered. He's fouled off 2 fastballs before that changeup. Just throw it out there. You got a 1-2 count. You can waste it away. Just something to change the speed a little bit. Keep him off balance.
Ground ball. He spoils that offering. Again, the changeup, I believe.
Yep.
9 pitches in this at bat. At bats like this can make it tough on a pitcher. Shuck has fouled off 4 pitches with 2 strikes on him. And now 3-2.
You know, like Woody Williams would have, how he would have said the miles per hour on that pitch.
Tell me.
97. Woody Williams was a great guy.
Yeah,
I loved him. He'd always come up with stuff like that.
Houston guy. Foul ball back below us.
10th pitch of this AB. It's got to be annoying as a pitcher when guys just can't square your stuff up, but do just enough to fight off good pitches. I always felt as a hitter I had the advantage when I did that. But I didn't face too many guys that threw 97 to 100 miles an hour either.
I used to refer to those guys in my own head as ants at the plate. There's a line drive left field. That's a base hit. Second of the night now for J.B. Shuck as he works it deep into that count. So Shuck has the only 2 hits for the White Sox. He's aboard with 1 out.
And the reason I say that the hitter sometimes has the advantage because you've thrown everything at them. They've taken some swings at it, fouled it off, but they're in a little bit more of a rhythm at home plate with their swing, trying to adjust to those pitches.
Bonifacio at the plate, popped to shortstop in the first. In that first inning, Velasquez had allowed the leadoff double to Shuck. But he got Bonifacio, Abreu, and Adam LaRoche. There was also a wild pitch in the inning. Here's a fly ball shallow and left. Tucker with the play. 2 outs in the third.
That was a nice Bonifacio. Let's go up there and hack at that first pitch. Get out. Some interesting looking clouds there, Ash.
Kind of been on and off throughout the day. Wow. These are
sky,
very
man.
unique. You can't quite see it, I don't think, on the screen, but I'm not sure I've ever seen anything quite like that before. I feel like I'm looking at a painting and looking at the sky.
It's impressive.
Please look with us. That is unique. One nothing Houston. Sac fly by Jake Marisnick in the second inning. Jose Abreu, not a guy you want to mess with, but a strikeout victim in the first inning. One of the 2 punch outs on the night for Velasquez. Maybe overthrowing a bit on that one. 2-0 the count. Vincent John Velasquez.
V squared.
Do you know that he has never had an at bat in the minor leagues?
Wow. What they start using they start letting the pitchers hit in Double-A, I believe, in National League parks, if I remember correctly.
Line shot to right field, drops in front of Springer. Stopping at second is Shuck. So a 2-out single has runners at first and second. And now the cleanup man, Adam LaRoche, at the plate. And that is a great looking hitter, Abreu.
Well, he got blown away with a fastball up in the zone last AB. did not want that to happen again. But he's a good hitter. He's a good hitter. These guys are making adjustments. This is their first time seeing Vince.
Adam LaRoche, one of those guys that just gets big swings and drives the baseball.
He definitely has a very unique swing. A lot of people might say it's long, but he's been able to create a path to the baseball and had a pretty good career with it.
Yeah, just kind of looking through these numbers on Velasquez in the minor leagues since 2010, has never had a plate appearance, pitched in 63 games in the minor leagues.
Does that concern you?
No, but it could be challenging when he's forced to go to the plate at some point. He brings a strike. Velasquez went 25-14 in those 5 seasons in the minor leagues. 3.26 composite ERA. He's throwing the changeup quite a bit here in the inning.
.51 pitches. I wonder how comfortable he is throwing it, because when you're throwing gas at about 95 to 98 miles an hour, holy cow, watch out.
So that was the changeup, and the bat just goes flying.
Let's hope that everybody's okay.
Yeah.
Seem to be all right. But you have some surprise in your eyes there.
Wow.
Ooh, man. How does it,
I don't know how they survive
more often.
Yeah. Yeah, we keep wondering when the game is going to put some netting down both lines with the fans.
Well, if you're wondering, average bats are 34 inches long and about 32 ounces, close to 3 pounds, and that barrel comes flying at you. Helicoptering like that, pretty good. It's dangerous.
One and two the count. Another foul ball sliced to the left side.
And then you get a small projectile baseball go flying up there at about 75 to 100 miles an hour. Fans are usually ready for those foul balls, though. They're looking for those. They're not looking for bats.
8:28 is the time, and we are trying to get the third out here in the third inning. Down on strikes, Adam LaRoche. Third strikeout of the night for Velasquez as he gets through the third inning. A couple of hits, they strand him. 1-0 Houston.
June 12th as they take on the Mariners. 10,000 fans will receive a gym bag presented by Houston Methodist. For more info, visit Astros.com or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. Bad, guys.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out what that means.
Yeah. I don't know that you can really see in the picture what it looks like when you just look into the sky. Maybe you can, but that's the most unusual sky I've ever seen. There you go. Now you're seeing it. Yeah, my monitor is not, but Glummer's is good.
Lando Calrissian up there in Cloud City.
Lando Calrissian. Know the name? I can't tell you the movie, though.
Oh,
Star
man.
Wars. Yes,
Yes,
okay, sorry
thank you.
about that. I got stuck at C-3PO. Marwin Gonzalez leads it off for the Astros here in the 4th inning. 1-0 Houston. Jake Marisnick with a sac fly for the offense. Carlos Correa has doubled in 2 at-bats. George Springer has a pair of knocks. And Vince Velasquez has shut down the White Sox bats for 3 innings. And that arrival time into Houston tonight is getting later and later.
You didn't take a nap today, Ash?
It was brief. I don't know if it was as good as yours. 1-2 the count on Marwin. We will confess we had a great day of golf, great morning of golf today.
It was fantastic.
Slider. Marwin lays off. Palms down on the appeal. Ground ball hit to short on a couple of hops. And making the play is Beckham as he makes a rare start at shortstop for the White Sox. Out number 1 here in the 4th inning. It brings up Jake Marisnick. Marisnick hammers one to right field deep. Garcia going back. This one at the wall, and Garcia makes the catch while crashing into the wall. Jake Marisnick gave that a ride the other way. But a long out here in the 4th.
Thought that ball might have a shot at getting out of here. Ball's pretty well struck by Marisnick.
It's a really good play.
It's absolutely zero respect for your body and an amazing amount of fearlessness going back into that fence. He wasn't going to stop for anything until he got a glove on that ball. Great play.
Not sure he knew he was that close to the wall. Maybe he did.
He kind of braced at the last second.
George Springer 2 for 2 at the plate. We have not seen a 1-2-3 inning here this evening. Closest thing to it, a couple of 4-batter innings for Vince Velasquez. Along with the 2 for 2 night, George Springer has picked up a stolen base, his 13th on the year. Fastball up and in, 2-1 the count. Now 2-2 as Springer takes the curveball. The Astros lead by 2 games in the American League West over the charging Texas Rangers, who are 31-27. Line drive center field. George Springer is 3 for 3. And boy, if this guy can get it rolling with the bat, what a difference maker along with Carlos Correa in this lineup.
This is that prototypical inside-out swing that you hear about so often. Just watch how he brings his hands in. Does a good job of fighting off this slider. See it down and in. That's a great swing. 2 strikes. Good recognition, hands. Things might be starting to come around a little bit. You're seeing flashes of it.
Again, a stolen base already on the night to go with the 3 hits for Springer. Jose Altuve is 0 for 2 as he stands in. Get your votes in for Jose Altuve for the All-Star squad as he gets himself a good swing, but down on the count 0-1. It's intriguing. You get in a slump and you start getting a lot of information. Be more patient, be more selective. Whole lot of stuff goes on, and I just think it clutters the mind.
225 hits last year for Jose Altuve. 77 the year before that, 167. He's up over 700 hits in his career, isn't he? Big numbers. 17 bags with those 5 home runs.
Hit in the air, left center field, long run for Schuck, but he'll get there to make the play. That does it for the Astros. They get the base hit by Springer. He's stranded. We played 3.5. It's 1-0 Houston.
For the Whataburger, what a play. Jason Castro's been throwing guys out at a pretty good clip. Launches that one down to second base. Carlos Correa holds his ground, grabs it. Quick swipe tag, gets Avisail Garcia at second base. Great play. They reviewed it, and he was still out.
Sky's now darkening in Chicago. 1-0 Houston. 5-6-7 for the White Sox. Avi Garcia leads it off. Drew Walken was caught stealing, as you have seen and been told. Great throw by Jason Castro. He just continues to gun him down. We're looking at a very good arm tonight from Vince Velasquez. Major League debut. 2-0 the count on sliders. Garcia with 7 bombs on his season, 25 ribbies. Takes the fastball on the 2-0. Garcia with 3 hits in the series. Had 1 in the opener, 2 for 4 last night. And had 2 big RBIs in that leading game on the series. 2-2 the count. Garcia came up with the Tigers. but now would appear to be a fixture in right field for the White Sox. And a 3-2 count. And we mentioned it with Garcia. He's been an effective outfielder this year with 8 assists. That fastball in that up and in region. So a leadoff walk in the 4th inning. Let's check in with Julia.
Thank you, Ash. New to Houston and looking to get to know the city better? With our Welcome to Houston package, we invite you to tour Minute Maid Park and enjoy an Astros game this Saturday, June 13th. For tickets, visit astros.com/welcome to Houston or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Thank you, Julia. Not a big threat to run down at first base Garcia. He's stolen 2 in 5 attempts this year. Melky Cabrera also drew a walk in the 2nd inning. Back-to-back walks in that frame, along with Garcia. And so now 3 on the night issued by Velasquez. Melky Cabrera, longtime major leaguer, switch hitter. The Milkman hitting just .233 as he starts play tonight. How about that? 45 opportunities to hit into a double play, and not once has he done so. One and one the count. Velasquez having a little bit of a tough time with the strike zone here in the 4th inning. Pitch count mounting a bit. That's 61 pitches. We have not seen a double play on the evening. It has been tight at times from Tony Basner.
Got to give these White Sox hitters a little bit of credit too for being a little extra patient, knowing that too. Put a lot of pressure on these young pitchers. When you start taking pitches, they get squeezed a little bit. Start trying to make better pitches, might leave one out over the plate. But if you put Velasquez in a fastball count, chances are pretty good you're going to get some of that heat.
Right now, exactly half of the pitches thrown by Velasquez have come from the stretch. So he's certainly getting challenged here in the major league debut. Melky Cabrera came up with the Yankees in 2005. Then with the Kansas City Royals, Atlanta Braves, San Francisco Giants, Toronto Blue Jays. So he's packed the suitcase a few times, starts the bat, and the appeal gets the strike. So Melky Cabrera down on strikes. That's the 4th now for Velasquez, out number 1.
It's tough to hold up. You're gearing up for that fastball. You want to get the bat ready early to go, but by the time you try and hold back that swing, realizing it's going to be a ball, it's already out there. Borderline, too.
Seven-hitter Giovanni Soto stands in. Soto, a strikeout victim in the 2nd inning. That was the 2nd of the 4 punch-outs tonight for Velasquez. Well, that velocity hasn't dropped off at all, 95 miles an hour. But with the 3 walks, 3 hits for the White Sox, a bit of a struggle to get through these innings. Astro able to pick that slider in the dirt. 2 balls and no strikes.
Doing a good job of pitching around those walks, 3 hits given up. Been putting some Pretty high stress situations though with runners on base, like you said, Ash, quite a bit. Still got to like what you're seeing from the kid.
And now Soto takes the strike. This is what it feels like for the evening. It's just a battle of trying to see how deep you can get in the count, and I don't know against the Astros bullpen if that's a wise ploy.
They have been good.
With men on base tonight, the White Sox are 1 for 9. You know, I really love what Dallas Keuchel does with men on base. The fact that he always works from that little slide step, so he doesn't have to slow his game down and start throwing over a whole lot. He just shuts down the running game. And now 2-2 the count as Soto takes another strike. Been in the big league since 2005. Like Melky Cabrera, came up with the Cubs. Played with the Rangers and the Oakland A's. .212 the batting average for Soto. White Sox fans trying to get something going here in Chicago. White Sox starting to play better baseball, and they've had their success against the Astros. That slider misses now. A full count. Now we'll see if Avi Garcia down at first base might be on the move here in the fourth. Robin Ventura. Rick Hahn is the GM for the White Sox. Runner goes, the pitch, shot foul. Garcia now will turn and head slowly back to first base. It's been a very slowly paced game.
It is.
A 1-0 game in the fourth inning. Again, the runner goes. The strike is called. The throw down, another strike, and they got him. A double play, strike him out, throw him out. Another great throw by Jason Castro. And Velasquez faces just 3 in the fourth inning. Through 4, 1-0 Astros.
Ranch. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. That looks good right there. They even cut it off the cob for you.
I saw you had a nice little taste treat earlier in the game.
I had some ice cream nachos. I was crushing them.
Is that Merrill Street?
I don't know. Big Gregerson fan.
I think it was. We go to the 5th inning, 1-0 Houston. Preston Tucker leads it off, 0 for 2 on the night. Followed by Evan Gattis and Carlos Correa. Jose Quintana on the mound for the White Sox. Kind of a typical game for him. He hasn't gotten a lot of run support this year. A ball and a strike now as Tucker leads it off.
That White Sox offense pretty much shuts it down when Quintana's on the field. Talked about him taking the loss. Last time he faced the Astros, he only gave up 1 run.
Tucker hits it on the ground again. 3rd time tonight for Tucker. And out number 1 in the 5th inning. Brings up Evan Gattis. He also is 0 for 2 with a couple of ground balls. Again, the Astros off tomorrow as they head back to Houston. Friday, Saturday, Sunday in Houston at Minute Maid Park with Seattle. Brett Oberholzer goes in the Friday game against King Felix. This will be a really good one. Felix Hernandez 9-2, leading the major leagues in wins. Colin McHugh pitches in the Saturday game. That's a 3:10 start against Mike Montgomery, and then Lance McCullers, and come and watch the gas from Lance McCullers as he goes against Seattle in the Sunday game. 1:10 start. Pop up on the right side. Abreu will make the play. 2 down quickly here in the 5th inning. And it brings up Carlos Correa. Carlos grounded out to second base in the 1st inning. Then in the 3rd inning, worked an at bat and eventually got a pitch to drive to right field. Hit it on a line over the head of Avisail Garcia. His first major league double. Quiet as can be at the plate. Mentioned earlier, the Texas Rangers are in 2nd place in the West, followed by the Angels, Mariners, and Oakland A's. It's a ball and a strike now on Carlos. Playing in his 3rd game in the big leagues. He's got 4 hits. He's got a double, a dinger, a stolen base, 3 RBIs. Offers on that slider out of the strike zone.
Pretty good pitch. Nasty slider, firm.
Low scoring games here in the series. Correa lays off this one. White Sox won the opener 3-1. Lance McCullers outdueled just a bit by Chris Sale, but McCullers was spectacular in that one. Last night 4-2, the White Sox prevailed. The Astros finally got a pair of runs on the board in the 9th inning. Dallas Keuchel beaten by Carlos Rodon. And now they get Correa. Rodon as the throw is thrown on by Abreu. Alertly into second base, Carlos Correa. And an E4, 2nd of the night on Bonifacio at second base.
Not entirely sure what happened right there. Ball was hit well. Good job of Carlos getting on top of that high fastball. He picks it pretty well. Got time to gather and throw, and then just chucked it. his second throwing error on the game.
So the Astros with an opportunity now. 2 outs for Chris Carter. Carter has doubled and walked. And pops it up. Back of second base. Second baseman Bonifacio calls and makes the catch. And that'll do it. The Astros leave a man, but lead it 1-0.
Houston Methodist is back in 2015. Christian rock band Mercy Me returns to the stage at Minute Maid Park for a post-game concert this Saturday, June 13th, after the Astros take on the Mariners. For more information, visit astros.com/faith. Guys, Velasquez getting this start right here. Of course, he's very excited. AJ, though, excited to see Velasquez in person. He hasn't seen him pitch since the Arizona Fall League. He said he's seen some video, but of course we didn't get to see him in spring training dealing with that injury. But he said the reason we brought him up here was because we thought he could help us win tonight. We just wanted to see how he responds to the majors, but obviously they knew he had the stuff to pitch up here. They just wanted to see how he would handle everything, guys.
Boy, does he ever have the stuff. Fastball tremendous. He's had a good breaking ball, combination of breaking balls tonight. Changeup. And he shut down the White Sox through 4 innings. But it's been a battle. 3 walks issued by Velasquez. 3 hits for Chicago. So they've had 6 base runners, and yet he has struck out 5. Works into the 8, 9, and 1 hitters here in the 5th inning. Connor Gillespie fly to center field. That in the 2nd. 3 of the 4 leadoff men against him have reached. There you see that fastball, 94. He's been kind of between that figure and up to, what is it, 97, even 98 tonight?
I think so. I know I've seen 97 a couple times, but a 2-0 count, you can still blow a fastball by a big league hitter. It's a good sign. Ouch.
Changeup. Skips off of Castro. 2-1. Make that 3-1 the count. Well, the Astros could certainly use a win tonight to be able to take back home and kickstart a 5-game homestand. 3 against the Mariners. And then 2 games against Colorado. And then that precedes a road trip that starts in Colorado with the Rockies, just 2 games. 3 in Seattle and 3 in Anaheim. So the Astros have a lot of work to do And tomorrow's off day will be the only one they'll have for quite a while.
Astros are still 6 games over 500 on the road with a 19-13 record on the road.
There's your American League West.
Rangers are hard charging.
Pretty good for the Astros, though, that you can lose 6 in a row and still have a 2-game lead. And again, for any club, you're going to have those stretches.
Angels lost this evening to Tampa Bay 4-2. It's a good thing. Texas and Oakland will battle it out later on tonight.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look around the major leagues. The Cubs are in Detroit against a struggling Tigers club that is just 15-15 at home. It's 12-3. The Cubs lead over the Tigers. That in the 8th inning. And what is going on in Detroit? Ball 4 as the fastball gets away from Castro. 4th walk now issued by Velazquez. That's 79 pitches. Nobody out in the 5th. Seattle's in the 9th inning at Cleveland, leading over the Indians 9-2. San Francisco Giants in the 8th inning at New York, leading the Mets 7-4. These White Sox in the American League Central have to deal with not only Detroit but Kansas City and Minnesota now. And the Minnesota Twins have been really good, 33-25. They're trailing the Royals in the 6th inning, 5-1. And now Brett Strom's going to come out to the mound along with Jason Castro, as it's a 1-0 count on the 9-hitter Gordon Beckham. Maybe just, I was going to say slow things down. I'm not sure that you can do that, but some of the draft going on. Finishing up today for the Astros, and some very good bloodlines going on.
Some names that Astro fans should be comfortable saying. Biggio and Clemens. It's kind of neat.
Back-to-back 34th and 35th rounds.
Can't really say they're courtesy picks. These guys, like you said, the bloodlines, there's some talent in there.
Well, you take your chances with those bloodlines, don't you?
Those two?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Strike is called. It's 1-1. 83 pitches now. Nobody throwing in the Astros pen. Final in Cincinnati. The Reds have defeated the Phillies 5-2. Slider popped up left side. Marwin Gonzalez just on the infield grass makes the catch. Out number 1 in the 5th inning. Back to the top of the order with J.B. Shuck, who's 2 for 2 with a double and a single. And again, no double plays turned on the evening. Toronto Blue Jays trying to win some ball games. They've got a 1 game over 500 record now at 31-30 as they defeat the Marlins 7-2. Sliders fouled back. Plummer, you and I were talking about the Blue Jays and the way they looked so good in that 3-game series. Maybe a club that is going to be reckoned with for the rest of the year.
Well, we knew the bats were always going to be there. They've got some serious thunder in that lineup. They're getting back to being healthy. But the arms that we saw were pretty good too.
Were they? They've won 8 straight now. In 11 innings, the Nationals win it over the Yankees 5-4. That from Yankee Stadium. The 0-2 pitch. High breaking ball grounded slowly to second. Altuve's only play on to first base. Second out while Gillespie moves into second. So 2 down, a man in scoring position for Bonifacio. What's your impression so far overall on Velasquez and composure and all taken into account?
Stuff is good. Doesn't look like he's panicking too much out there. It looks like he's got his wits about him. It's just that release point right now isn't too effective. Losing some of these pitches around the zone. He's throwing a ton of pitches. But still at the same time, you got to look up at the scoreboard and be thankful that there's no runs on that board.
Two teams are a combined 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position tonight. As again the White Sox take a strike. Bonifacio 0 for 2. Really gotten back into this taking ball game for the White Sox. Little chopper on the changeup. Speed has to be contended with, but 3-1 on the putout. So another ground ball out, picked up by Velasquez. He gets through the 5th after a leadoff walk. 1-0 Houston.
Jimmy Wynn, the toy cannon, hits the longest home run in the history of Crosley Field. The toy cannon's monster shot clears the 58-foot scoreboard in left center and bounces onto Interstate 75 outside the stadium, and nobody was injured. How about telling everybody you hit a bomb that caused a traffic jam? Jeez.
Somebody's ERA was injured.
It's always good when you can bust an ego every now and then.
ERAs are not getting hammered tonight, though. 1-0 Houston. We played 5. 7, 8, 9 for the Astros here in the 6th inning. 2 hours into it. Jason Castro, Marwin Gonzalez, and Jake Marisnick here in the 6th. The Astros have Will Harris now up and loosening in the pen in right field. So that could be the end of the night for Vince Velasquez. Good breaking ball, 0-2 on Jason. Castro 0 for 2. He's popped to third and struck out. Trying to go up the ladder with the heater. A little too high up the ladder. For Castro, that batting average now at .215. And it has been a bit of a battle. Velasquez appears to be done for the night. Big smile on his face. Jason down on strikes for the second time tonight. They'll record the out at first base. With one out, it brings up Marwin Gonzalez. What do you say if you're Brent Strom to Vincent Velasquez on a night like this?
I imagine you're saying all kinds of good stuff. You're trying to get some feedback. Try and open up that line of communication between the young man. Help him understand you. And at the same time, Strommy's doing a little psychoanalysis too, trying to figure out what makes the wheels turn inside Vince Velasquez. Got to figure out those key words. And he says, you know that strike zone, son, the more you throw it in there with your 97, the better you're going to be.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But he's almost like that father figure, that wise grandpa that you have in the family that kind of helps settle you down and give you some quality insight into the game.
We love your stuff. We'd like to see that stuff in the strike zone more often, maybe a little more quickly.
And I think what Strommy does well is ask the right questions to see if he gets the right answer from the kids too.
Fastball hammered to center field. Going back and able to make the running grab is J.B. Shuck. Oh, nice play in center field. Marwin stings it. So he's 0 for 2 on the night to go along with a walk. And now it brings up Jake Marisnick.
Ball hit well, but it looks like he got a little bit off the end of the bat. Good job of tracking it down by Shuck.
Where does this ballpark stand in terms of ball
fair.
carrying?
It's pretty fair.
Either way.
Yeah, there's no real quirks around here. Just a nice even fence going all the way around. But, you know, it doesn't really have quite the effects of the wind like Wrigley Field does on the north side. This one obviously a little more enclosed.
Yep. Flags hanging limp at the moment. We've had some wild weather around us this evening.
Yeah, those momentous clouds were looming large above us.
What'd you call those?
You heard me.
I'm going to look that up on you at some point.
Your friend Ed Buckner.
Yes.
Was one providing all that information.
So you were checking in on Ed, huh?
Well, there was some concern.
Yeah, apparently what's been going on around here concerns those in the weather biz. And Ed, we appreciate you always tuning in. Great fan of the Houston Astros. Marisnick down on strikes. 3 strikeouts for Quintana. 1-0 through 5.5.
Astros ahead of the White Sox by 1 run. Bottom of the 6th at U.S. Cellular here in Chicago, and it's time for the AT&T call to the bullpen. Will Harris coming out of that Astros bullpen in relief of Vince Velasquez. Through 5 shutout innings for the Astros. Will Harris making his 23rd appearance. Unbelievable numbers from that right arm of Will Harris right now.
How about that 080 opponent's batting average against?
It doesn't make any sense. It was a typo.
And that's the lowest among all major league relievers. So, I mean, it tells you how good he's been.
He's allowed 2 runs on the season.
And was quite angry upon allowing that 2nd run. 89 pitches tonight for Velasquez, 49 of which were from the stretch. So he had runners on base a lot, but he was able to manage his way through the runners. White Sox hitters 1 for 13 with men on, 0 for 5 with men in scoring position. Jose Abreu leading off against Harris, 3-4-5 for the White Sox. And talk about another guy that has great stuff. We just continue seeing these terrific arms. Will Harris at 94 with that heater. Good breaking ball right over the top. 1-2 the count.
Good grief. It's a knee buckler.
Talk about 12-6. Texas Rangers getting underway in Oakland with the A's. Just in the 1st inning, scoreless game. Same situation in LA with the Dodgers hosting the Diamondbacks. Although the Diamondbacks now have scored 1 zip. Ground ball 3rd base side. Marlin with the strong throw, and he's got a great arm as he gets him. Out number 1 in the 6th. It's fun to see when you get to see Marlin go over the top and just bring it.
Yeah, I wonder if that 3rd base spot's going to turn into a bit of a platoon now with Valbuena and Marwin Gonzalez over there at 3rd base, knowing that Correa is going to be getting the majority of the time at short.
I would be surprised if Correa doesn't just play game after game at shortstop.
We're going to get a chance to see that a lot after this day off tomorrow.
Adam LaRoche at the plate. 0 for 2 with a strikeout. There's the shift. Marwin on the left side. Yeah, from what I've seen of Correa, as this one is crushed, and just a bomb to right field by LaRoche as the White Sox tie it at 1. Adam LaRoche did not miss a bit of that one, his 8th bomb of the year.
3rd run given up by Will Harris on the season. Gave up a bomb in Toronto also. The balls that he's given up those 2 home runs on, it's a fastball. It just kind of leveled out in the strike zone. Usually he does a great job of getting on top, getting a good downward angle. But this one you can see flatten out in the middle of the zone. A guy like LaRoche, who's been around for quite a while, getting extended.
Well, there was no doubt at all about that one. Brings up Javi Garcia. He's walked twice on the night. They list that at 406 feet. Huh, I don't know. And now 2 balls and no strikes on Garcia. Melky Cabrera waits on deck. So there goes the possibility of the win for Velasquez in his debut. Two balls and a strike as Harris finds the outside edge. Cardinals have defeated the Rockies. Now the Cards are 39-21. 2-2 the count. Baltimore Orioles are kind of hanging in there, 28-30 as they win, downing the Red Sox. Red Sox 6 games under 500. Harris brings the 2-2. A little bit like Miguel Cabrera. Big body, drops the barrel of the bat below the hands, and really lets it fly.
He's a good talent.
Well, you can see him being a successful major league hitter for a long time.
Just health. Stay healthy.
Down on that slider, wicket in the dirt. So the first time the Astros get Garcia tonight. 2 outs in the inning.
Pretty nasty hammer.
Six strikeouts on the night for Houston pitching. First for Will Harris, and now he faces Melky Cabrera. Cabrera has walked and struck out. It was just a year ago the Milwaukee Brewers got off to a terrific first 2/3 of the season. They were running away in the National League, in the Central, and yet miserable time as they start the year this year. They lose to the Pirates 2-0. Brewers are 22-38. And at the knees, a ball and a strike. Pirates have just kind of plugged along. They're 5 games over 500. Ground ball left side, a big hop for Marwin. He'll get the out. So for the White Sox in the 6th inning, the home run by LaRoche ties it at 1 through 6.
For the TXU Energy Power Player of the Game. Didn't get off to an electric start, but it was just perfect location for George Springer with that base hit. Then it was just a fastball away, go with it, punch it out there. Then a fantastic piece of hitting on a great slider down and in from Quintana on a 2-strike count. George Springer swinging the bat quite well in this series. 5th hit, 3 today.
And that batting average now with those hits up to 246. 8 home runs for George. It's starting to come along. A lot of excitement here in Chicago as the Blackhawks have just gone ahead in their ball game. What do you call that? A game, I guess.
I don't know. You can't call it a puck game.
No, that wouldn't be right. 2-1 they lead over Tampa Bay. Both pens now busy as Springer has counted a ball and a strike. 3 for 3 for George. Stolen base on the night. Webb getting loose for the White Sox. 4 for 4 for George Springer as he hangs out the line shot to center. And yeah, that bat appears to be lighting up.
I think next time the guy gets 4 hits, Ash, you need to go 4.
Why don't you make that sound they make for the hockey here? There it is.
Nice piece of hitting. Fastball right down the middle. And the way he's been swinging the bat, he's just been laying out line drives. Had that drop shot in the first inning, but everything since then just been on a line.
And that smile says, yeah, I like what's going on. That's the second career 4-hit game for George Springer.
It's okay, Peter.
Yeah, thank you. Jose Altuve, on the other hand, is having his struggles. 0 for 3 tonight. He's 0 for his last 9. Batting average dipping down to .291 for Jose, but still should be the starting second baseman for the American League this year.
You know what could be cool with this Astros team now with all this young talent is if they push each other. They challenge each other on a daily basis.
There's a little looper back at second base, but getting there quickly is the second baseman, Bonifacio. He makes the play, and out number 1. And Jose is a very frustrated, terrific major league hitter.
He's human. He's going to have some tough stretches every now and then.
Can be a lonely game at times. Preston Tucker is 0 for 3 on the night. Preston had a base hit in last night's ball game, and he's been very impressive against left-hand pitching, therefore in there against the lefty tonight. But it's been a while since he's had one of those big swings. Jose Quintana working into the 7th inning, a 1-1 tie. The Astros scored way back in the 2nd inning on a sac fly by Jake Marisnick. White Sox picked up their run in the bottom of the 6th inning. One run, Adam LaRoche. This one popped up back at the plate. That's well back into the seats. Tucker's batting average now at .256. Other games we have not mentioned around the major leagues. Final, the Atlanta Braves have defeated the Padres 4-1. Atlanta just a game under .500, as are the Padres. Angels have been defeated by the Tampa Bay Rays, so that's good news for the Astros. 4-2 the final as the Rays win it. The Angels have fallen to a game under .500. Tucker hammers one left field deep. Back at the track, the wall, leaping and coming down with it is Cabrera. Into second base is Springer. And that ball, I believe, was going to get out of here.
That's severely disappointing. We've seen Tucker. He's got good pop going the other way. He went deep in Detroit the other way. Yonke did a good job of getting back there, finding the fence, and being able to leap up and make the grab. I wonder if it would have gotten out. I think it might have bounced off that yellow line into the stands.
I think so. I think that's exactly right.
It's a big play right now.
Man.
Credit George Springer for tagging up and getting to second base.
Very alert, so he's in scoring position. Preston Tucker has made a couple of outs like this, hitting the ball the other way, and now the pitching coach Don Cooper comes out to the mound.
Well, Preston did a good job of making the adjustment going the other way, keeping that front shoulder closed, letting that ball break, get deep on him, and driving it.
Now, he's a guy that the numbers say he's struggling right now, but he's hit 2 or 3 balls sharply tonight. Just nothing to show for it.
Let's take a look at Friday's pitching matchup, brought to you by Chevron. Day off tomorrow, Thursday. Show up at Minute Maid Park on Friday, and you get to see this matchup. King Felix. Again, incredible numbers on the season, 9-2 with that record, 2.51 whip under 1. Opponent's having a very tough time hitting against him. Got about 5 or 6 pitches, it seems like, that he can throw for strikes going up against Brett Overholtzer. Be a good time to show up at Minute Maid Park, see some of this young talent backing up Brett Overholtzer. A little more firepower in that lineup. See what they can do against another one of the AL's best.
Evan Gattis at the plate. First base is open, but you know what? Carlos Correa is up next. Line shot just hung out and right at Cabrera. And part of what goes on when you are scuffling offensively. That does it for Houston. In the 7th, they leave a man. 2-6.5, a 1-1 game.
Rookie Vince Velasquez making his major league debut. See it there on the bottom. 5 shutout innings. Showed a fastball, real good slider, and occasionally great changeup. 5 strikeouts on the night. Walked 4 batters, scattered 3 hits. Family in attendance enjoyed the performance. Until Dad was locked in on every pitch. He may have actually nicknamed him American Pharaoh.
I think he did. He certainly tried to.
It's a nice comparison.
So it's Tony Sipp on now to work in the 7th inning, a 1-1 tie. How about that last at bat and all the decision about facing Gattis, who hangs out the line drive. Carlos Correa waiting on deck. The White Sox already in a position where they did not want to pitch around Gattis.
Yeah.
With Carlos Correa waiting on deck.
Well, we heard what Robin Ventura had to say about him. He was pretty impressed.
Sipp works it to the 7, 8, 9 spots. And this one is bombed to left field. Getting out in a hurry, and the White Sox take a 2-1 lead as Giovanni Soto takes the first pitch of the inning from Tony Sipp and plants it in the bullpen in left field. 3rd home run on the year for Soto. White Sox take their first lead of the night.
Somewhere there's a book on Tony Sipp that says he throws first pitch fastballs, but this one leaking back over that inside corner. Giovanni went up there with the idea if he gets a fastball, he's going to let it rip. He got it and didn't miss it.
Second home run of the night for the White Sox, the other by Adam LaRoche. And that's all they're scoring. But they have doubled up the Astros 2-1. Ground ball right side, 2 hops for Altuve. First out of the inning. Zip has thrown 2 pitches.
Those are not mammatus clouds. Those are the fireworks, leftovers floating through the sky.
You are simply scaring me.
I'm a scary guy.
Stroh's pen over the last couple of nights, 2 1/3 innings, 4 runs allowed. And this is a bullpen that has been second best in the American League all season long.
I think for the first 50 or 60 games, that pitching staff, starting staff, and bullpen has really picked up for the offense. They were getting those timely hits, but they have found a power outage here.
Tony Sipp gets the out on the little chopper. Nice play. 2 outs. And we check in with Julia.
This Sunday, June 14th, 10,000 fans will receive an Astros grilling apron presented by Houston Methodist at the Mariners-Astros game. For more information, visit Astros.com or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Thank you, Julia. 2 outs here in the 7th inning. A run in on the home run by Soto. And back to the top, J.B. Shuck, 2 for 3 on the night. Hitting .288. Slider finds the inside edge. All in all, a rather impressive debut for Vince Velasquez.
I agree.
In terms of arm strength, he's well above average. Really good stuff. Where'd that one miss? On the appeal, they missed there. Portion of the baseball touches that strike zone, got a chance to call it. Two and 1 the count. See where the Yankees closer Andrew Miller has been placed on the DL now.
For being overly nasty, or what happened?
Well, that's what he's been all season to this point, but apparently he's added to that label. Forearm strain for Andrew Miller.
Too many sliders.
Forearm strain. What does that mean? Elbow is what always follows. We never say a guy has a sore elbow anymore. Can't say that. It's a triceps or a biceps or a forearm. Always.
Got to get creative with it.
I can't tell you the last time I heard that a guy had a sore elbow. Strike is called. 3 and 2 the count. Again, the final time these two teams will meet this year. Check swing, and ball gets away from Jason Castro. Is it a foul ball or is it not?
I saw both hands go up from the umpire. That would indicate it was a foul ball, but
J.B. Shuck, after starting back toward the plate, sprinted back to first base, and now he's going to walk it back. See what we can see. He was not even close to hitting that ball.
What are we doing?
He wasn't even close. Can you appeal that? My goodness. And number one, I would tell you, no hitter in his right mind would sprint on down to first base on a foul ball.
That's a great point.
And the walk. So J.B. Shuck catches a break and takes advantage. He's aboard with 2 outs here in the 7th for Emilio Bonifacio. Zach Putnam, the right-hander, loosening for the White Sox in their pen. Josh Fields for the Astros. Bonifacio, switch hitter, turns around, bats right-handed. 0 for 3 on the night against Velasquez. So Will Harris comes on, gives up a home run with 1 out in the 6th inning. And then the first pitch thrown by Tony Sipp here in the 7th inning was launched by Giovanni Soto. And the White Sox with the 2-1 lead. J.B. Shuck at first base has stolen 4 bags on the year in 5 tries. Held on by Carter. Changeup is always a good one from Tony Sipp. Oh, 2 the count. Jason Castro has already thrown out 2 would-be base stealers tonight. And in each case, it was Avi Garcia, 2nd inning and 4th inning. Castro just making good throw one after another. Runner goes, the pitch a ball, the throw down a strike. And for the 3rd time tonight, Jason Castro throws out a base thief. And so that does it for the White Sox. As Shuck is caught, but the White Sox get a run on the home run. And it's a 2-1 Chicago lead.
Upcoming schedule brought to you by Progressive Insurance. We are done here in Chicago, and we are done with the White Sox, period. Astros will fly back to Houston, land early Thursday morning, have that Thursday off before starting a weekend series with the Seattle Mariners, finishing off with a 2-game set with the Colorado Rockies before following them to Denver to finish off that 4-game set. and then back in the AL West with Seattle and Anaheim on that road trip. And then back into Houston to face those New York Yankees.
But the business at hand is to beat these White Sox and pick up a win on this 6-game road trip. The Astros are yet to get one, and now they will face right-hander Zach Putnam here in the 8th inning. Only allowed 3 hits over his last 10 games, 10 2/3 innings.
Loves him some split fingers.
Pitch is popped up down the left field side. Is it playable? And now the left fielder with the play, Melky Cabrera, drops it at that last moment. So that keeps Carlos Correa alive, and that could be very big. Correa leading off here in the 8th inning, followed by Carter and Castro.
Ball was bombed up in the air. It was up there for a good while. Running that far, that ball is moving, bouncing around. That's a tough play.
It's been ruled an E7. The 2 other errors on the night committed by the second baseman Bonifacio, in each case throwing errors. And now Sanchez has taken over defensively for the White Sox at second base. And an 0-2 count on Correa. Chicago fans have their rooting split here now as the Blackhawks have won this evening.
You are correct. Stanley Cup Series tied up 2 apiece.
You have turned into a Blackhawks fan.
I enjoy watching him play.
2-2 the count on Correa. Carlos on the night is 1 for 3. That one, a double over the right fielder's head. A line shot in the 3rd inning. White Sox with the 3 errors tonight. That's very unusual. They had 1 in their previous 10 games. In fact, they had a nice streak going errorless. And now laying off is Correa, and 3-2 the count. At an 8-game errorless streak. The Astros need to find a way to take advantage. I'm not so sure the White Sox are real happy about facing Carlos Correa in any situation. Grounds it foul. Go back to the 7th inning. With 2 outs, the Astros had Springer at second base. So first base was open. Evan Gattis at the plate, RBI leader on the club. But Correa was waiting on deck, and the White Sox chose to face Evan Gattis. And I think that says an awful lot.
He's having some great at-bats in this game.
Chops it foul again. Evan Gattis, to tell his story, hung out a line drive as hard as you could hit it.
Yeah.
But hit it right at left fielder Miguel Cabrera.
Had rough luck with the line drives right at White Sox players in this series.
It's been part of the road trip too in Toronto as well, and Carlos Correa fooled on the off-speed pitch down on strikes. So Carlos 1 for 4 on the night. That's the first out in the 8th.
Pretty nasty split finger 3-2. Carlos fouled off a couple of them, but Putnam kept going to the well with that split fingered fastball and got him.
Chris Carter is 1 for 2. He's also walked. The one hit a double that came in the 2nd. Hitting right at the 200 mark. Now, Pat Neshek getting loose in the Astros pen. A run on 6 hits for Houston, 2 runs, 5 hits, and 3 errors for the White Sox. Those errors have not cost the White Sox. Carter scored the only Houston run of the night on the sac fly by Marisnik, and that came in the second.
Again, it's all about opportunities for these Astros. 0 for 7 in this game with runners in scoring position. See Zach Duke getting loose for the Chicago White Sox.
Oh, that splitter is a good one.
It's pretty effective at 84 miles an hour. It's got plenty of time to tumble in there. It's amazing how consistent he is with it.
Makes me think back to days with Bruce Sutter. A number of guys have been successful with that pitch.
The original Fear the Beard.
Just inside. 3-2 on Carter. Jason Castro waits on deck. And Carter down on strikes. With 2 outs in the inning, we check in with Julia once again.
Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in True HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices with MLB.TV Premium. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking, widget, and more. Every night on every device. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details.
Jason Castro steps in 0 for 3, a couple of strikeouts tonight. The Astros have struck out 5 times on the evening. Jason with the 3 caught stealings tonight, the first time he's done that in his career. And he has made just some excellent throws, not just tonight, but steadily this year. Defensive side of the game getting stronger and stronger for Castro. Ball and a strike on Jason.
It was a rare fastball from Putnam.
We've seen Castro face some shifts in the last couple of weeks. Not so in this at bat anyway, as he pops it down the left field side. It curls almost to the seats.
Oh, man down. Fan came flying onto the field. What happened there? A little flip from Melky, and then watch out for the rail. Pretty excited about that.
Two outs on strikeouts in the 8th. And make it 3. A 1-2-3 inning as Putnam comes in and slams the door. Through 7.5, White Sox on top 2-1.
pitch swinging on the fastball off Tony Sipp, a bomb into the left field bullpen. As of right now, that's the difference, but you can see he's getting the silent treatment down there in the White Sox dugout. And then they explode for a little fun, messing with the White Sox catcher a little bit. It's a unique way of a bunch of men playing a kid's game, having some fun.
Pat Neshek comes on now to work the 8th inning. Astros down a run, and he'll face Carlos Sanchez. Who tries to bunt his way aboard. Just 5 hits for the White Sox, but 2 of them have left the yard. Adam LaRoche pounded a home run in the 6th inning to tie the game at 1, and then Giovanni Soto with that home run to put the Sox on in front. Major League debut tonight of Vince Velasquez, strong through 5 innings and shut down the White Sox. He allowed just 3 hits, 4 walks, and 5 strikeouts. Will Harris touch for a run? Tony Sipp the same. Oh, and 2 the count. Sanchez came on as a defensive replacement in the previous inning. Changeup grounded up the middle. So Sanchez 1 for 1 on his night, as the White Sox match the Astros in the hits column at 6.
Definitely hasn't been a perfect night for that Astros bullpen. Will Harris giving up that bomb. Tony Sipp to Giovanni Soto. Now a leadoff hit against Pat Neshek. It's going to be a lot of Astros looking forward to getting out of Chicago.
A.J. Hinch is such a patient guy, and we've talked about a lot of his attributes. Great communicator. He's ideal for this team, it would seem. But now that battle is to get things turned around when you're struggling.
Yeah, things are struggling, but you also got to be, I think AJ's got to be that guy that doesn't show panic.
And he doesn't.
He really hasn't. And even in talking to him, because we actually, you can corner him one-on-one and talk to him a little bit, and he's got complete faith in these guys down in that dugout.
Jose Abreu is 1 for 3 on the night. Tell you what, this guy along with Garcia can go the other way as hard as anybody. And I just don't get the sense that AJ is going to panic at any point. Now, he's obviously going to try to bring out the best in the guys at all times, but he's keenly aware that over the course of 162, you have your ups and downs.
And if you know your manager wants you to succeed so badly, you want to go play hard for him. And I think he's trying to create that culture where he can get these guys to go out there as young as they are and play extremely hard on a daily basis.
Strike is called. It's 1 and 2. And I think for both of us, we've seen nothing but that.
Yeah.
The Astros starters here in the series have pitched very well. The bullpen, the surprise story, they have struggled. David Robertson, the closer for the White Sox, now up and throwing. 17,455 on hand tonight. The beginning of summer has not brought out the big crowds for the White Sox.
Maybe they'll start heading over from the Blackhawks game.
2-2 in the series, you say?
Yep.
Again, that foul on the right side by Abreu.
Really puts his nose on the ball. He goes
He
after
does.
that thing.
He's one of those guys, and again, like Miguel Cabrera, can take a pitch any part of the plate and hit it to right field with power.
You saw it against Dallas Keuchel. He's a Blackhawk fan. But he took a fastball from Keuchel down and in and went right center field with it.
And that led the White Sox to victory against Keuchel. Stays alive. It's 2-2. Dallas Keuchel continues to pitch well every time he goes out there. But you got to get offense to win too. Right field. Watch this one at the wall. And another bomb for the White Sox. Their third of the night. This one with a man aboard. And that extends the Chicago lead to 4-1 here in the 8th inning. And the bullpen continues to struggle.
Well, we always talk about the timing of when you come in and face some of these ball clubs. Right now with the Astros bullpen and the way the White Sox are swinging the bats, you can see a mistake up, out over the plate, off the plate. And Abreu goes with it and has enough pop to get it out of the ballpark. They're just seeing the ball extremely well off Astros arms.
LaRoche, Soto, and now Abreu with home runs for the White Sox. And it brings up Adam LaRoche. Coming into play tonight, the Astros bullpen still second best in the American League. Kansas City is just tearing it up. Their bullpen ERA at 1.74. The Astros almost a full run back as LaRoche gets a base hit right on through that shift on the right side. Third consecutive hit here against Neshek. I want to say that again. 174 for the Kansas City bullpen. 270 for the second place Astros bullpen. And yet coming into Chicago, it's been a rough go for the bullpen for the Stros. Second hit of the night for LaRoche. Each one of the Astros relievers tonight has allowed a home run. To the count. Javi Garcia at the plate has walked twice, caught stealing twice, and struck out. J.B. Shuck has also been thrown out trying to steal. Jason Castro defensively a big night. And down on strikes is Garcia. Second time tonight for Garcia. First out of the inning, it brings up Melky Cabrera. Seven strikeouts for the Astros pitching. Cabrera 0 for 2 with a walk. In terms of starting pitching, prior to tonight, the Astros are 9th in the American League. Well, the Oakland A's are quite a dichotomy. They lead the league in starting pitching ERA at 3.15, but they're dead last in their bullpen. Very odd.
It is interesting.
Starting pitching, the Boston Red Sox have now bottomed out below Toronto. They were in the bottom spot. They're starting to come along a little bit, and as you said earlier, some good arms in that bullpen we also saw.
With the run support they're getting, They could give up a couple, still win.
One ball and 2 strikes. Bottom of the 8th inning, 4-1, Chicago leading. Fly ball shallow in left center field. Tucker is there to make the play. 2 outs in the inning. It brings up the catcher Giovanni Soto, who struck out his first 2 at bats. One of those into a double play with Garcia on the move from first, but then homered in the 7th inning to put the Sox in front. You talk about Toronto, they lead the league in runs scored, and by a wide margin. The Seattle Mariners go out and get Nelson Cruz, and he's been great. But the Mariners are dead last in runs scored in the American League. It's game 61 tonight. So Friday night's game in Houston will leave following that game 100 left on the season. Are we seeing the real thing right now?
I think we're seeing a little bit of a lull. I don't think there's really been an opportunity yet to get some of these young guys to gel on this big league ball club. We know the talent's there, and there's been flashes of brilliance between all of them, but I think when AJ gets these guys playing under the same, at the same time, you know, these guys are still trying to find their way. Even though Carlos Correa is swinging a great bat, he's still trying to find his way, see how he fits into that clubhouse. George Swinger, well, I should maybe call him George Swinger. He's been swinging a great bat. Right. So his bat's coming around a little bit. Altuve's in a bit of a funk, but you know that's not going to last long. But I just think there's too much potential in there to really be panicking much at all. It's just going to take a little bit of time for them to grow together.
I agree. And it seems an odd time for the Astros to be in this losing funk they're in, because there's so much positive going on right now with the team.
I think the most promising thing is that nobody's counting on just a Preston Tucker or a George Springer to be able to produce. There's guys out there that they can count on each other. There's 4 or 5 guys, possibly 7 or 8, that you could count on to really drive in runs and get hot and carry a ball club.
Pat Neshek walks his second man of the season, and now A.J. Hinch is coming out to the mound. Bit of a struggle night. A.J. will go to the bullpen and bring on the left-hander as we break it right here. 4-1, White Sox on top. face the left-handed bat of Connor Gillespie here in the 8th inning.
Joe Thatcher's job right now in his 20th appearance is to stop the bleeding. Things have hemorrhaged a little bit out of that Astros bullpen. Right now, try and leave those base runners out there, get you a ground ball, get you a pop-up, get you a strikeout somehow, some way. Get this third out, end this inning.
So Thatcher tries to shut it down here in the 8th. Gillespie's 0 for 2 with a walk. Runners at first and second. Again, when the Astros get back home, Friday night's ball game after tomorrow's off day, it's Brett Oberholzer going against Felix Hernandez. The King is 9-2 on the year for the Seattle Mariners, and they've been a struggling club, so gives you an idea of how well he has pitched. Slider drilled into right field. In front of Springer. Being waved home is LaRoche, and the throw to the plate not in time.
Did it look like Castro was a little surprised to have LaRoche where he was? It's an interesting tag because I thought the ball beat LaRoche at home.
Yeah.
That was a great throw from George Springer, not giving up on the play.
What I notice is that Castro comes out toward that first base side maybe more than you might typically want to see. Did he get him?
They're going to review it. Watch the hesitation. Castro kind of turned his head, didn't bring the glove around immediately.
I think he might have gotten him there. But you're right, there did seem to be that instant of hesitation.
How about Springer? His momentum was taking him towards the right field line and able to throw back towards the middle of the diamond and put a strike on home plate.
The Astros have a couple of really good arms in the outfield, Springer and Jake Marisnick.
Another look at it.
Right
there. Yeah. Ring him up.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I would overturn that call.
Can you take time constraints into the equation?
I think you should. So we've got another review ongoing with New York. It's 5-1 right now. The White Sox lead it.
They've got to send that angle we just saw here back to New York. I thought that was a pretty good one.
Yeah, that was perfect. Let's see the thumb go in the air right here. There it goes. No thumb, but fist. And so an out is recorded at the plate. George Springer picks up the assist. And the tag by Jason Castro. That'll do it. But the White Sox get a pair and lead it 4-1 as we go to the ninth.
airfare now at southwest.com.
It's a 4-1 Chicago lead in the 9th inning, and the closer David Robertson comes in for a 3rd straight game. First time he's done that this year. We'll see if the Astros can maybe upset things here with David Robertson.
Yeah, 3 nights in a row they get a look at that cut fastball, breaking ball combination that Robertson's going to come after you with. 25th appearance, 12 saves on the season. Strikeout to walk ratio is pretty impressive. See what he's done against Houston in 3 games this year so far. 3 saves, 2 hits allowed in those 3 saves.
Here in the inning, Marwin Gonzalez will lead it off. So it's the 8, 9, and 1 spots. Hank Conger has a bat and appears to be ready to pinch hit for Jake Marisnick. And then back to the top with George Springer's spot. Springer's 4 for 4 on the night. It's now or never for the Astros to win one on this road trip. And a very tough assignment against David Robertson. The first pitch hit on the ground right side. That's gloved by Sanchez, who makes the play. 1 pitch, 1 out in the 9th. Marwin winds up 0 for 3 after drawing a walk in the 2nd inning. And now Hank Conger comes on. Goal right now is to get some base runners. Conger on the year hitting .206. He's got 3 home runs, 1 from the left side, 2 from the right. A strike on the outside edge. Conger's 27 years of age. Gets it on the ground. Backhanded by Abreu. He will feed on to Robertson. A couple of ground ball outs. And the Astros down to their last shot.
And again, a couple pretty good passes at Robertson's cutter. Just hit right at the infielders.
Not sure looking at it that it's quite that same dominating looking cutter that we've seen certainly in the first game of the series.
Going to need some serious 2-out lightning here to make something happen.
George Springer 4 for 4 with a stolen base and an assist on a great throw from right field.
Oh, fun.
That cutter had some of that tough action. A little over 3 hours and 10 minutes. A ball and a strike on George. With the 4 hits now, George Springer is hitting right at .250 on his year. Been the one to get.
Call that front door to the right-handed hitter. It's tough when you see that pitch. Looks like it's boring in off the plate, and it has that last second cut.
Down to a strike. Shot to right field. It's dropping. 5 hits on the night for George Springer. A 5 for 5 night as he tries to keep something going in the 9th.
Well, that's pretty cool. 5 hits in 1 game is pretty cool. First time in George Springer's career.
He's turning into an opposite field hitter.
He's turning into a professional batter is what he is. Good stuff.
Brings up Jose Altuve.
Don't ever stop being greedy as a hitter.
Absolutely. Jose's 0 for 4 on the night, 0 for his last 10. When does it turn around? That batting average at .290. Hit .341 a year ago. Grounds one at the second baseman, Sanchez, and that does it. So the Astros get a nod from George Springer and leave him. And the White Sox sweep the Astros. As the Astros drop all 6 games on the road trip, the final tonight, 4-1. White Sox win it over Houston.